we left last time we left Shekharji on the last line here.
Okay. I thought we completed till Ruba Nandini.
Yeah, correct. You are right. Nripanandani we completed. We'll go to next here. Yes. Now it is Nripa Dharmamayi. Danya
Dhanadharanya
Danya
Vivardhini.
Vivardhini.
Namaste. So the next nama is Nripa Dharma Mayi. Nripa Dharma Mayi. One who consists of the dharma. Dharma is, or it cannot be translated as a quality, though we can understand, for the sake of understanding, we can say it is as a quality. Because in our culture, there is a difference between a guna and a dharma. Guna is that which is temporary. For example, the wall. I may say the wall is white in color. The white color of the wall is of temporary nature, which is acquired because of the paint, the color of the paint. It will change if I next time smear, let's say, any other color. So guna is something which is not the essential nature of a particular entity, of a particular dravya. Whereas dharma is what makes that particular entity the entity that we refer to. For example, the normal example which the Shastras usually use is the dahakatva, the ability to burn, and the fire. The dahakatva is the dharma of the fire, which you can never remove from the fire. Because once it is gone, then it is no longer the fire. So, dharma is that which sustains any entity. So, when we speak of Nripa Dharma Mayi, that Devi is of the nature of that dharma which characterizes an Nripa. Nripa, we have seen in the previous namas, refers to the king. So, what is the essential characteristic of an Nripa? Across all the texts, be it the primary texts such as the Vedas or the Agamas, or the secondary texts like the Smritis or the Purana, Itihasas, they speak in an equivocal language that the trana, the protection of the subjects, is the duty of the king. So, in the very name Nripa, when we etymologically derive, it means Nrn Pati iti Nripaha. One who protects the men or the subjects. So the protection of the subjects or the dependents is the essential characteristic of the ruler. Now there are two things that the king has to protect in very simplistic terms. It says this definition we find in the in Kautilya's Arthashastra. Yoga and Kshema. Now these two terms are very much familiar to us from Bhagavad Gita. When Bhagavan assures Yoga Kshemam Vahamyaham. Ananyas Chintayantoma Ye Janah Paryupasate Tesham Nityabhiyuktanam Yoga Kshemam Vahamyaham. Yoga and Kshema. These are the two things that Kautilya says Yoga and Kshema of the subjects has to be protected by the king. What is Yoga? Yoga is that which the subjects would acquire through righteous means. So I may have the ability, and if I successfully put in the required volition, required efforts to earn something, to possess something, that possession is called as the yoga. And Kshema is taking care of what has already been acquired. So I may already have n number of things under my possession. So taking care of that is called as Kshema. So yoga is to ensure that I am receiving what I am entitled to, and Kshema is protection of what is already under my possession. So these two things of every subject has to be protected by the king. This is the essential thing. So when we are calling Devi as Nripadharma Mayi, it means that these two things at a very limited geographical level is done by the kings. But who does this at the universal level? So at the cosmic level, this function is carried out by Devi herself. Because across the stotras and across the literature, we will find that Rakshanaya cha Lokana. It is for the protection of the world. She manifests and she brings forth all the leelas. So the yoga and kshema, the shloka that we saw in the Bhagavad Gita, is also the assurance given by the Supreme Entity that she takes care of the yoga and kshema of all the bhaktas. So when we speak of Nripadharmamayi, she takes care of the yoga and kshema of her devotees. All right. The next nama, Dhanya.
Dhanya.
Dhanya, before we go into this, the nama, let us understand these names are all connected from to the word dhana, which we normally understand as wealth. Let us go a bit deeper. Why is the wealth called as dhana? So all the answers are hidden in the etymologies of the words. That is why the science of etymology, which is called as the Nirukta. Nirukta is one of the most important subjects which any person who is very serious of pursuing studies in the Shastras is recommended to, because only then we will know what is the actual intended meaning of a word. Otherwise, we will go by the secondary implications that we are familiar through the literature made available to us. So when we look into that, it comes from the dhatu, it is derived from the dhatu dhana. Dhana means to run away. So how do we connect dhana or wealth and running away? It's not like the normal understanding that wealth is temporary. It does not stay with one person. Therefore, it is so. No. It means that which is desired. So dhana is that for which there is actually from the dhana, the word dhana acts in the very, very strict and primary sense would mean a sense of a competition, like a race or something like that, wherein people strive to achieve that prize. So the prize at the end of the competition is called as dhana. On the secondary level, it means all that which a person earns after putting sufficient efforts. That is the key thing to be underlined. Dhana means that which is earned after putting the requisite effort to possess it. So in the when we speak of her as Dhanya, one who ensures the dhana or the fruit of the actions. So she is Dhanya because she is the one who bestows the fruits of the actions. Amongst the 6 Astika Darshanas, the 6 schools of philosophies, there is one by name Mimamsa. The Sankhya, Yoga, they are one set of darshanas. Nyaya and Vaiseshika, that is the second set. Purva Mimamsa and the Vedanta, that is the third set. In this, the Mimamsa deals with the interpretation of Vedic sentences, or rather deals with the Karma Kanda, the action orientation of the Vedas. Now, the reason I'm telling this is because in Mimamsa, they do not accept the presence of or the existence of an Ishvara, God as an entity who dispenses, okay, whatever. So the objection from all the other schools of philosophies who accept Ishvara is that, look, karma is jada. Okay, karma is jada. If I perform the karma produces a result which is also jada. So, what will or who will ensure that the person who has done gets that result? Because by itself, the jada does not have the ability to move or to go and get associate itself with the person who has performed. So it is absolutely essential to accept the position of Ishvara who dispenses the karma phala. So when we speak of Devi as Dhanya, we are referring to her as one who bestows the results of actions which has been put up by the person, by any of the sadhana. Otherwise, Dhanya is understood as a sort of blessings. Okay, but for her, we cannot give the interpretation of Dhanya like we give if the word Dhanya had to be used as an adjective for any of the mortals. Then it is like how we understand in the Hindi, no, hum dhanya ho gaye. So that kind of a sense we will get. But when we explain it in the context of Devi, we have to go to this root and understand that it means that one who dispenses the fruit, because the word dhana itself means the effect which is earned through a proper means or through proper actions. Okay, so dhanya.
Dhanya, dhan dhanya vivardhini.
Dhana dhanya vivardhini. That is the next noun. Dhana dhanya vivardhini. Vridh means to grow. Okay, vivardhini, one who ensures the growth of dhana and dhanya. So we have seen in detail the meaning of the term dhana. Okay, what is dhanya? Dhanya refers to grassy grains. The grains, the cereals, okay, which grows at the tip of the grass, like a paddy or a wheat or things like that. They are called as dhanya.
Dhan.
So one who ensures the growth of the wealth and the growth of the food. Okay, dhanya is the representation of food. Okay, so this is the normal thing that we all can make out. Dhana, there is one another peculiar meaning associated with the word dhana. Dhana also means that there is a shastra by name Visha Shastra. Okay, toxicology. There are many specialized texts which speaks about the various kinds of venoms. Surprisingly, it speaks about neurotoxins, okay, and hemotoxins. The text, the name of the text is Kashyapa Samhita, okay, and in this particular, there is a it also speaks about the medicines that would have to be administered for a person, okay, who is suffering from a snake bite. Without going much into detail, dhana is one particular medicinal herb. It's a name of a medicinal herb. There are totally 8 herbs which are described. Among the 8, dhana is one, and the key ingredient for this medicine that is prepared and for administering to a person who has suffered the snake bite. So it means that dhana is that which removes the effect of poison. In the Adhyatmika interpretation, the word or the term poison refers to ajnana. It refers to ajnana. In one of the forms of Shiva, there is one which is called as Neelakantha. And each of the form of Shiva, the mantra is slightly different. There is a mantra bheda, because the mantra and the devata, they correspond to each other both in form and function. So in the Neelakantha mantra, there is a central bijakshara, which refers to the visha, which refers to the poison. And the interpretation for the word poison is the ajnana. And it is kept in the middle of the mantra, just like it got stuck in the throat. Okay, neither up nor down. It is somewhere in the middle. So the bijakshara is also placed in the middle. So the dhana is that which removes this visha. So when we speak of Devi as dhana dhanya vivardhini, she in the form of jnana ensures the mitigation of the visha. Okay. And dhanya, what does dhanya signify? Dhanya signifies the poshana, the nourishment. And the nourishment is explained at many different levels. The nourishment for the body is different from the nourishment to the mind. The nourishment to the mind is different from the nourishment to the buddhi or the viveka. So when we look at the Upanishadic text, it speaks of the poshana or the nourishments of the 5 koshas differently. And the highest form of nourishment is ananda, the highest bliss, the supreme unadulterated bliss. And that happens only when we have understood our essential nature to be as that of being Shiva himself. So when we speak of Devi as dhana, dhanya, vivardhini, it means she who removes ajnana and ensures the highest bliss of being established in one's own true nature. So dhana dhanya vivardhini.
Chaturvarnamayi Murti.
Chaturvarnamayi Murti. Varna. Varna is color. So let's look at it from color point of view. Chaturvarnamayi, one who is composed of 4 colors. Chaturvarnamayi Murti. Murti is that which can be known. Okay, that which is tangible. So Murti is referring to something which is tangible. Okay, because at her supreme Paravak form, she is pure consciousness and above all the states of physical manifestation. Even the Sukshma manifestation is not there. Okay, she is only Vasanatmaka. She is only Chit and Ananda. Okay. But when she is at the level of Ishvara, among the tattvas when she is at the Ishvara level. It is from there that she performs the activity of the protection and others for the world. So, Chaturvarnamayi Murti. So, in her tangible form, that is, in her Ishvara Tattva level, she is composed of 4 colors. Right? So, there is something called Kalanyasa. The 5 activities, the Panchakrityas, which are the key or the essence of the Kashmir Shaivism thoughts: Srishti, Sthiti, Samhara, Tirodhana, and Anugraha. The Tirodhana is performed by Ishvara. Anugraha is done by Sadashiva. Okay, so the Tirodhana is and there are kalas. Kalas means aspects. Okay, there are 10 Brahma kalas, there are 10 Vishnu kalas, there are 10 Rudra kalas, and there are 4 Ishvara kalas, and there are 16 Sadashiva kalas. So we are interested in the 4 Ishvara kalas only, because it is there that the tangible manifestation, that Murtatva, takes place. The 4 colors are white, black, red, and a form of pink, light form of pink. These, for all the other Brahmas, Vishnu and all, the colors are named based on the functions. But for Ishvara colors, the colors are named after the colors. These 4 colors, when we look at it, it is very simple. It signifies the Sattva, the Rajas, and the Tamas. White is Sattva, the red is Rajas, the black is Tamas. The pink refers to the Mishrana of the Prakasha and the Vimarsha, which is resulting in the manifestation of the Ishvara color. So it is something like this. Pink comes first. Pink is nothing but Prakasha, which is white, Vimarsha, which is red, mixing together to give pink, gives rise, then the Vimarshana takes place, it gives birth to the manifested universe, which is composed of the 3 gunas, Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas, white, red, and black. So, Chaturvarnamayi Murti. The another meaning for the word Varna is the class of the society. So, the 4 Varnas which are described in all the texts: the Brahmana, the Kshatriya, the Vaishya, and the Shudra. Okay. So when we take Devi as the sum total of the universe, the Brahmanda Sharira, if the Brahmanda is her Sharira, then these 4 which form part of her are the various parts. So when we go to the Purusha Sukta, it clearly says which part of the Purusha is what. Okay, when you say Brahmanasya Mukhamasi, Bahurajanyakritah, Urutadasya Advaishya, Padhyam Shudro Ajayat. So these 4 are the 4 divisions, and very unfortunate, Varna is today heavily mixed and misunderstood and misrepresented as Jati. Jati is different. The concept of Varna is different. There are some very good explanatory essays, videos, and others which clearly distinguishes between these 2 and shows that how it is the colonial mischief that resulted in this misunderstanding between what was Varna and what was Jati. The Shastra speaks only about Varna. It does not speak about Jati. Okay. So when we call Devi as Chaturvarnamayi Murti, the Varna is based on the dharma, the swabhava of an individual. So there are 4 swabhavas or 4 nature which is essential and when they integrate and function for the society to move on. So those are the four: the Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and the Shudra. So when we speak of Devi as Chaturvarnamayi Murti, we are referring to her as the sum total. Okay, the Brahmanda Sharira, in which everything has these fourfold classifications. We are all assuming that it is only the men and the women which are classified under these four. No. When we look at the Shastras, everything is classified under these four. Animals are classified. Plants are classified. Why? I'll tell you. Even Rudraksha is classified under these four varnas. If you take texts like Rudraksha Javala Upanishad, the Rudraksha is having all these four varnas. So it is a guna-based classification that results in the varna. So Chaturvarnamayi Murti. I'm not trying to be apologetic at all. I'm only trying to say that there is a heavy misconception in the society about the difference between varna and jati. Okay. So Chaturvarnamayi Murtihi.
Murtish Tovarnaishcha Pujita.
Okay. Chaturvarnaishcha Pujita.
Chaturvarnaishcha Pujita.
One who is worshipped by all class of beings. Here, four. So Chaturvarnaihi cha Pujita. So she is the sum total, but at the Laukika level, she is commonly worshipped by all. Okay, Chaturvarnaishcha Pujita. So no one is left or no one is deprived of their right to worship Devi. These namas are very, very clear indicator for that. There is no discrimination in the worship of Devatas. Everyone has the right to worship the Devata. So Chaturvarnaishcha Pujita. Okay.
Sarvadharmamayi Siddhi.
Sarvadharmamayi Siddhi. Dharma, qualities. Sarvadharmamayi. One who possesses all the qualities and ensures the success in the actions. Okay. Like we saw the difference between the guna and dharma. So dharma is, when we speak of the dharma at the very individual level, each of the objects possesses that dharma by which it exists as that object. And when we go to the text, it will give you the essential characteristic of that. What is the dharma of Prithvi? What is the dharma of Jala? What is the dharma of Agni? Like that. All these are Vyashti dharmas. Okay, individual dharmas. There is one Samashti dharma. Okay, that which is responsible for the existence of all as a cohesive unit. It is this Samashti dharma that the Vedas initially refers by the term Rita. When it says Ritam cha Satyam. Rita is this sum total, the Samashti. And later on, the same concept of Rita was explained in the Smritis and the Itihasa Puranas using the term Dharma. Okay, so essentially it means the same, Rita and Dharma. So Rita or Dharma is the cosmic order by which everything performs. And it is this cosmic order which we believe in, we say as Sanatana Dharma. Sanatana means essential.
Okay. Sorry.
Yeah. It is not belief in any one set of dogmas, any one set of rules. That is not Sanatana Dharma. Because within Sanatana Dharma's fold, there are so many communities which have diverse practices. And if we were to see their practices, one will be diametrically opposite to the other. What is held as impure by one is considered as an object of worship by the other. So that kind of difference exists. Yet, what is the thread that binds all of this together? That thread, the belief in that particular concept is the backbone of the Sanatana Dharma. Okay, so when we speak of her as Sarva Dharma Mai, one who is the sum total, we are talking about her as the Swarupa of that Rita, that cosmic order. And Siddhihi, and she is the one who ensures success at both the cosmic level and at the individual level. In order to wherever and whenever there is a challenge to this cosmic order, the Puranas and others describe the Avirbhava of Devi. For example, she manifests herself as Mahakali, she manifests herself as Mahalakshmi, and all those things that we come across. That is to overcome the challenge at the cosmic level. At an individual level also, she manifests as the right Chetana, the right Buddhi, and helps us overcome the challenges. So to us, she need not and may not appear in front of her, front of us with all that Chaturbhuja Murti or Ashtadasha Bhuja Murti or anything like that. For guiding us, all she has to do is we get to know what to do or the right thing to do at that particular time. So that is the anugraha of the Devata. So she does that. So that ensures success. So Sarva Dharma Mayi Siddhi.
Siddhischa Turashram Vasini. Turashram Vasini.
Chaturashrama Vasini.
Sorry, yeah. Chaturashrama Vasini.
Chaturashrama, the 4 ashramas. What are the 4 ashramas? The Brahmacharya, the Grihastha, the Vanaprastha, and the Sannyasa. We think that it is sequential, but there is no evidence to show that it is sequential. It is all dependent on the state of mind. The most essential is the Brahmacharya, which no one can escape. Everyone has to undergo the Brahmacharya ashram. What is Brahmacharya? Brahma Prati Charati iti Brahmachari. One who takes the steps by which he can approach the Supreme. That is from the Adhyatmika point of view. From the Laukika point of view, the word Brahma also means Vedas. So, the learning phase of the Vedas and the Vedic education. Now, today, can we say when we are entering into the phase of education, or let's say any student, can we say that he is a brahmachari? By virtue of age, by virtue of the commonality of the fact that they also went to school and now people, the students are also going to school, they are entitled to be called as brahmachari. Only thing is that there is an difference in the outlook between the education system. Today, unfortunately, our Western education system or the Western knowledge system guides our outlook. There is a huge or completely opposite poles wherein Indian knowledge system approaches a particular problem and a Western knowledge system approaches the problem. Western knowledge system follows the bottoms-up model. Indian knowledge system follows the top-down model. We do not disassociate consciousness from matter. Whereas here, the consciousness is not accepted. Even if it is accepted as a byproduct of the conglomerate of matter. And it is temporary. There is a lot of ways that we can understand the differences between the two. So the term Brahma referred to the Vedic education, which characterized a certain worldview. What is an education? Education is that which gives a worldview, drishti or darshana. That is why our highest level philosophies were called as darshana. Darshana is the worldview. How do you look at the world? An Naiyayika will look at the world in a particular way. A Vedantin will look at the world in a particular way. A person who follows the Pratyabhijna will look at the world in a particular way. So looking at that darshana, that drishti, the steps to acquire that drishti is ensured in the phase by name Brahmacharya. Starts with the education of texts first, then assimilation of the ideas. So it is from the Shastra Bodha, we understand the Shastra. Okay, we go to the Tattva Bodha. We understand the essential or the highest implied reality spoken of in that particular Shastra. It's a progressive journey. And that was done in this phase of Brahmacharya. Next comes the Grihastha. It is considered to be the most essential and the holiest amongst the four. Today, unfortunately, we have a very different mindset. We think that the sannyasa is the highest ashram. Sannyasa may be the Turiya ashrama, the fourth ashrama. But the Grihastha was considered to be the most essential and most important. I am not saying this. It is there in all the Smritis and Puranas. Why? Because without Grihastha ashrama, all the other ashramas will not be sustainable. That is, it will not be sustained. Who will sustain a brahmachari? A Grihastha has to. Because the earning happens here. The artha, the generation of artha, okay, wealth happens in the Grihastha ashrama. So Brahmacharya ashrama is sustained because of a strong Grihastha ashrama. Even a sannyasi is sustained by the bhiksha offered by a Grihastha. So Grihastha is considered to be the best ashrama. The other ashramas are dependent. Grihastha is independent. So Brahmacharya, Grihastha, Vanaprastha is a kind of a semi-retired state. Okay, where he is not completely out of the family. He is just connected, but at the same time, he does not really bother about the day-to-day workings of or running of the family. Sannyasa is the fourth, and it was not mandatory or necessary that everybody has to go through these four stages. Yes, Brahmacharya is important, and the reason why Grihastha was emphasized was because it is only through the Grihastha the others can be sustained. Therefore, one has to go through the Grihastha ashram. But at times, from the Brahmacharya also, one can become the sannyasi. Or he can follow the krama. He can go through from Brahmacharya to Grihastha to Vanaprastha and then reach the sannyasa ashram. So Chaturashrama, Vasini, one who resides or lives in the dharma, in the duties of the four ashrams. Because the ashrama is defined by what is done in that particular phase of life. So it is the karma, the nature of activity that defines that ashram, not the external appearance alone. Brahmacharya has to be defined by whatever activities has been prescribed there. Same with Grihastha, same with Vanaprastha, more so, very importantly, with sannyasi. A sannyasi has to be or has to lead the life of a sannyasi. Only then he is entitled for all the respect due to a sannyasi. So it is that dharma of that particular ashrama which qualifies them for that. And she is that dharma. She resides as that dharma of the particular ashram. So Chaturashrama Vasini. What are they? So since she is the Shakti behind the four ashramas and the four varnas, the next set of namas speak of her in that particular term. So the first is
Brahmani.
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 one who is the power of the Brahmana Varna. What is the what is that particular dharma do? Brahma, like I said, either towards education or at the highest level towards Atma Sakshatkar, towards the Supreme. One who has dedicated his life and effort to these pursuits. He is a Brahman. And she, Devi, is the one who ensures that it is being followed, or this is the definition of a Brahman. Otherwise, even in Smritis, we come across the term that he is merely a Jati Brahman. He does not have Brahmanya. He is just a Brahmana by virtue of being born as a Brahman. Does not possess the Brahmanya, which essentially defines a Brahman. So she is that power which defines the Brahman. Next, she is Kshatriya. Kshatat trayate iti Kshatriya. Kshata means injury or harm. Trayate, one who protects. Kshatat trayate iti Kshatriya. What is the dharma of a Kshatriya? Dharma of a Kshatriya is to protect. We saw in the Nama Nrupa. Okay, Nrupamanya, Nrupanandini, all that. The Nrupa is protector. Protection is and protection of what? Yoga and Kshem. So Kshatriya, so she is that ability to protect which exists in the Kshatra. The next Nama is Vaishya. The ability to generate wealth through skillful methods by seeing opportunity. Comes from the dhatu wish to enter. Who is a successful businessman? Someone who sees opportunities where the others cannot. Simple. So Vaishya, so the ability to spot the opportunity and make use of the opportunity to generate wealth through the requisite work that has to be put in, through the requisite effort, is referred by the term Vaishya. The last is Shudra. It means Devi is one who exists as the power by which one person can extract the work and complete the task. So the term Shudra refers to a person who has the ability to complete that assigned task. We should not mistranslate or misunderstand the term to mean a servant. Servant does not have the ability. A skillful worker has that ability. The term Shudra means a skillful worker. For example, I just give this. There is a term Kushala. You all speak Hindi. We know the meaning of the word Kushala. It means one who is an expert. Okay? Someone who is good at a particular job. Interestingly, the term Kushala comes from the word, two words. Kushan Lati iti Kushala. Kusha is a kind of a grass like darbha. Okay? The feature of that grass is that it has very, very sharp or blady edges. It usually grows on the banks of water bodies like ponds, lakes, and others. And since it's a dense vegetation, dense growth, normally snakes and such poisonous reptiles live in and around that place where Kusha grows. So a person had to cut the Kusha grass because it was used in all the religious purpose. Not anyone could do this because he should know how to hold, which direction to move his hand, where to cut, how to identify the movement of the reptile and others, and be wary of it, and then dry it and break. So, since it involved so much of uh, application, okay, of certain amount of higher level of thinking, later on the term Kushala started being used to refer to a person who is an adept, who is good at. Similarly, the term Shudra refers to a person who is good at completing the task. He is a skilled worker. So the ability to complete the task skillfully, smart work is Devi. She is Shudra. And the beauty of the Sahasranama is that it is not restricting itself with the Nama Brahmani. No, because there is no difference. Each activity has certain abilities and she has to be present as all the abilities so that the world functions in cohesion. So she is Brahmani, she is Kshatriya, she is Vaishya, and she is Shudra. Okay? And Avara Varnaja. Avara, Vara, which is desired. Avara, which is not desired. Varna, Varna is a class. Ja, born. Not everyone can be endowed with these fourfold, any one of the fourfold or a mixture of the fourfold qualities. We also have to understand that the world is so diverse. There are people with disabilities. So the people with disabilities suffer from the possession of these fourfold qualities. Therefore, and even that is Devi herself. She is the Avaravarnaja. So that is also not exempted because when we speak of her as a Brahmanda, she is everything, not just what we like or what is the best. She is, because the terms best and worst, they are all very much relative. From the top-down view, there is no such classifications of superior or inferior. All these are the constructs or the vikalpas that are imposed because of certain conditioning, either social or the cultural conditions. Okay, so Avara Varnaja. Veda Marga Rata.
Veda Marga Rata.
Veda Marga Rata. Veda Marga, the path shown by the Veda. Rata, one who is always engaged or one who is attached. So one who is attached to the path shown by the Vedas, or rather one who is attached to the person who dedicates himself to the path shown by the Vedas. So how do I ensure that I receive the grace of Devi? Most importantly, by performing the actions or the dharma which has been ordained by the Shastras, because Shruti Smriti Mamaiva Agnya. Bhagavan says in Gita, Shruti and Smriti both are my orders. They are my Agnya. So, She will be pleased with a person who follows her agnya. That is important. So Veda Marga Rata. So one who is attached to all those who have dedicated themselves to following the path shown by the Veda. The term Veda here is a general term. It refers to Veda Agama because Agama is also Veda. So Veda Marga Rata.
Yagya.
Yajna.
Yajna.
Mara, can we stop here? I will
Yes.
like to speak
Sure,
more
sure.
on.
Sure. I will keep it marked. We are stopping at Yagya. Thank you, Shekharji. Okay, namaskar.
Thank you, Mara. Namaskar.
Namaskar.
Thank you for a wonderful session.
Namaste.